Yeah, Tomas. It's all about programming the spiral, the natural spiral, and acknowledging what's not natural. Parasitic, energetic vampires, um, acid batteries, if you will. And so I was just reminiscing here, like not my childhood of what I refer to this as like a gyrodome, a gyroscope, right? A neurotransmitter, the bioneurological spiritual system, and what we allow ourselves to be held captive by in order to transmute it, so we experience what we normally experience that isn't natural. So it's a matter of knowing what's natural, which is a natural spiral, which is a natural form and flow of mathematical divine right order, divine right timing, which is perfect balance, and breathing, cells that breathe. Yeah, as the magnets open and close, right? The planet is breathing. And breathing with the great living oversoul spirit of Mama Earth, Earth core, right? Mahak shield. And so therefore, that becomes the challenge, is to maintain that, which is called a safe zone, which is eternal peace. So I'm always breathing in a state of eternal peace. So now we're back to what we call navigation issues, which are communication issues, which are frequency issues, which are code issues. And now we're in incompatible codes. They're not compatible with each other. One's going in the wrong direction to implode, and we're going in the right direction to experience more of everything we're giving love to, which is creation energy. That means as a small child, I knew it was natural, and I know it was not natural. That's what it means by it's unnatural, but say, Ah Yah, the first spiral, the first spirit, the first star. Imagine what it's like to experience being a living, pure energy star, a cosmic level spirit. Yeah, experiencing pure energy, pure creation energy. It's on fire, because fire is what purifies our field, which is the firewall, which is the cell, and how that relates to spiritual immunity. Yeah. And so I'll give you a couple of examples. When I was a child, I wasn't sure because I don't want to do this. I want to go home, but I'm always at home because I'm always experiencing the first spiral, the first spirit that's on fire. Because I wanted to isolate myself. You know what an isolate is? Dr. Robert O. Young talks about isolates, like isotopes, vibration and frequency. I don't want to be around this place. Run for the hills. Go be with mama. Because when I was a child, I thought about going up into the Yukon when I was about 5 or 6 years of age. I'm going to go up the Yukon. I'm going to go live out there with all the brownie bears, I'm going to go out there and live with them. I thought about going up into the Canadian Rockies or up in the Yukon, right? And go live out in the boondocks somewhere, right? So I'm not experiencing the Truman Show, the model set. Now you're in the predictive modeling. Now you're in the predictive programming. The strategists, the war game strategists, the more that's learning about us by the way that we communicate with each other. Now we're into what's real and what's not real. So I knew what was real and what wasn't real. So when we were children, we used to communicate to each other. You want to get real? How do you get real with each other? Communicate through your heart and your soul, your solar code, the flame order, the family groups, the flame order groups. Right? And having an honest, truthful conversation. Right? And so now, and the reason that is important by virtue of what I experienced has what to do with the reaction states of the communication, what we communicate to each other, right? So you can see how that is, as an example, when I was a child, right? I'm communicating, I'm aware of all these other beings that I'm communicating with because I'm living in that environment with them, right? So now we're back to when I was a child, the check boxes, error codes, error codes, error codes, error codes, error codes. And if you're counting up that many error codes in a circuit board or a motherboard, what does that mean? It's unreliable. That means that the circuits are unreliable because they don't operate correctly. Now you're into the correct spiral, the first spiral, which is perfect mathematical geometric order, which is divine right timing, which is divine right balance, so that it doesn't break down. Breakdown is the shield, which is the firewall. The planetary shield, the galactic shield, the universal shield, and the Cosmina Maya joined as one shield. The first shield volcano. The first temple, the first sun temple of an eternal spirit. Pure, absolute, eternal love that's on fire. And so this is where the communication issues, when you get into codes and communicating frequencies, right, of programs. So I was very aware of all the programming. I'm not going to run that program. You're running that program. I'm not running that program. I got a job to do, like a repair technician, repairing circuits, so that the circuit order, which is the firing order of the fire letters, are in proper mathematical geometric order of divine right timing, the RH timing, the RH factor, as polarities, the magnets. When two magnets become one, the one becomes all. The first fire, the first star, the first sun, eternal spirit of fire. And so here in the house that I'm in, for example, Jason is a very peaceful spirit. Okay? But what I translate is that he is held captive to programs that I don't run, but he does. And that's perfectly okay, because now I'm back to when I was a child, okay, which says that you're on your journey, you're on your learning journey, and I'm on my learning journey. So since you have free will and I have free will, that's your free will to do that. But what it means is that now I have to decide, am I going to sit here and communicate to the property owner, this is what you're held captive to, 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 because then I have to remember what the reaction state is going to be of that being when it realizes that I'm exposing, which is camera exposing, the movie projector, exposing what they're held captive to that they weren't aware of before in their subconscious reactive cellular memory that I'm aware of. Wow, this being's reading my mind, what I'm held captive to, which means now I'm aware of what that being is aware of that I wasn't aware of before, which means when I'm in the company of this being is exposing everything I'm held captive to, which is parasitic in nature, but it's not natural. And what kind of reaction state is that being going to experience if I expose that and communicate that to them? Because now I'm going to experience what they experience in me, what they experience in them, if I expose that truth. So for me, this goes all the way back to age 4. So what do I do? Separate from that being? There is no separation. Right? Go grab a buck knife and just go jump on a plane and just head up to the Yukon? Go out, drop out of a parachute in the middle of nowhere? Hey, I can survive. I'll figure out a way to survive out here. So I'm not being exposed of what I'm exposing by virtue of the communication. We're communicators, speakerphones, phones, as in pH, right? pH 1, the first pH, right? The first electron donor. So these are the navigation issues, the gyrodome navigation issues, right? Of communicating, always experiencing, being in a state of peace. So that's why when we come to standing your ground, right? I can stand my ground. I've stood my ground. I've mentioned this is where you get into the art of healing, which is the art of communication. So I made it very simple to the property owner. I experience eternal, absolute, pure love in my heart. So I have a standard or a metric or living in honor, which is to honor my creator, the grand creator. I honor the grand creator above all and everything, which is the eternal state of peace, which is eternal, absolute, pure love, because eternal, pure love does no harm. So I communicated that with the owner. I do not communicate to another unit of consciousness in a way that's going to cause them any kind of harm or what? Reversal spin. Or if you will, so their nerves experience any tension. And particularly as that relates to operating on a memory function of the miasma. And how that recording will go around and around and around and around, stuck in the past. Otherwise known as a broken record player, a broken stereo. Now we're into stereotypes, arcing types. There comes the hit. That's what it does when I communicate the truth. It lives in a lie because it lives in fear of what love is, and that is a lie because the eternal absolute love is the eternal absence of fear, which is false light appearing as real. Dead energy zones were safe zones. The rainbow vehicles. Yeah. The rainbow aurora gyrodomes. Up and running. The Golden Fleece Network, the first golden triangle. The brilliance of three. Mama's Three Spheres Logos. That's us. Always in service. How can we help you? We're always on the job. The job application. The application of pure, absolute, eternal love is always on duty. That would be the first battery. That would be the first volcano. The first biovoltage line of communication. The organic water code. Ah Yah. Ah Yah, 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 Yah. Have a beautiful day, y'all.